Hi, this is Joanne Kobike. I am a midlife coach and the founder of Midlife Rewritten. And today I have the pleasure of talking with Joergette. She is a soul igniter. She empowers career moms and aspiring mompreneurs to ignite their passions, awake their feminine leadership, and follow their intuition so that they live their passions and purpose and make an impact while still being a great partner and mother. Among her many accolades, Joergette is a certified passion test facilitator, a certified Heal Your Life teacher, certified Art of Feminine Presence teacher, and a certified Fembodiment Wisdom Circle Tantra teacher. She's also the recipient of the Iconic Leaders Creating a Better World for All Award at the Annual Women's Economic Forum in India, 2019, which is where we met. And she helps women come back to their hearts, embrace their shadows, and shed the things which no longer serve them. So welcome, Joergette. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you so much for having me, Joanne. It's such a privilege. Thank you.
It's nice to see you again. I enjoyed getting to meet you at the forum in India. It was quite an event. It was the first time I'd been, and so.
Oh, definitely. It was an amazing event.
Impressed.
Yeah, very impressed. That just even to meet the caliber of women that were there, and just to make the connections that we've been able to make. Mm-hmm. It's just been absolutely phenomenal. So I'm still riding that wave. Yeah. coming back from India. So
I know that feeling. Well, as you know, through our discussions before, my audience is midlife women. And so my interviews tend to center around your midlife experience. And, as we were talking a little bit earlier, for everyone that's different. And it's not necessarily a matter of age, it's a matter of kind of where you are in your life. So do you want to share a little bit with us about where you are in your life?
Yeah, absolutely. So I've still got young children, but I actually have gone through quite a bit. I may be young, but I've gone through quite a bit of my own journey. So when you say midlife, there was actually one major turning point in my life where I've gone through a divorce. So I do have young children, but for a long time, especially when I became a mum, it was almost like my life was put on hold. And, as you can probably resonate being a mum as well, and possibly all mums can resonate with this. But, when you become a mum, it's like everything becomes about everyone else, right? And then your world becomes about them, and it stops becoming about you ultimately. And for a long time, I started to question, is this all I'm meant to be doing? Is this all my life is ever going to be? Like, I love being a mum, I love my kids, but there was still that yearning for more. There was still the yearning to want to achieve more and to do more and to be more and to experience more. And I felt really trapped. So when I became a mum, I just felt trapped. I wanted to be a mum and I loved being a mum, but I felt trapped and I felt like I couldn't do anything. Number one, because I had an ex-husband that I felt wasn't very supportive of me. And I felt quite controlled in a way, in that I wasn't allowed to do the things that I wanted to do and to pursue the things that I wanted to pursue. And for a long time, I listened. I listened to him and thought, okay, I'm going to be a good wife and I'm going to be a good partner and a good mum and do the things that everyone expects me to do. But I started to die inside. The more I kept doing that, the more I kept following what everyone else was telling me to do or telling me what I should do, the more I died inside. And it just came to a point where this calling within me was just screaming out, and there's the bigger expression that's wanting to express itself through me. And it just became undeniable. And, I'm a believer that everything happens for a reason. And sometimes the universe is going to throw pebbles your way, right? It's like it's throwing pebbles your way because there's like, hey, you got to pay attention to this. And if you don't pay attention, it's like a massive boulder's got to come throwing your way, right? And so that's exactly what happened to me. It was this massive boulder. And that boulder to me was it came through a divorce. And that was hard for me, being an Asian background, Catholic, and as I guess in any culture, divorce is seen as a negative thing. You just don't get divorced. But it was very much part of my conditioning that, you don't get divorced, right? What are people going to think of you? How are you going to be judged if that happens to you? So going through that myself was quite challenging. Having this whole identity crisis, that's what it felt like. I didn't know who I was anymore. And everything in my world that I thought I knew had come crashing down, because for a long time it was like, oh my God, I'm a mom, I'm married, I'm this and I'm that, and all of a sudden that's like nothing. And when your cup is so full, it's like nothing new can come in because your cup is so full. So for me, my belief, and I choose to see that as I had to be empty. Like I had to become empty, otherwise I couldn't get more I was asking the universe, I want this, I want more. But how can the universe deliver to me more when my cup is already so full? And so, yeah, that was my, I guess what you could say, a midlife. Whether you want to call it a midlife crisis, I don't know, but it was a major turning point for me, because it forced me to really look at my life and what I wanted, truly wanted deep within. And I had to really face my own shadows and face, like, really just wake up to myself going, you know what, this isn't the life that I truly want, and I'm not happy. And I had to admit to myself, yeah, actually I'm not happy. And when I was able to do that, that's when things started to open up. And then the more that I followed my passions, which is exactly what I started to do, I thought, okay, universe, if I'm meant to go through this divorce, if this is what's meant to happen, okay, I surrender. And I just made a decision to follow my passions and follow the things that I actually stopped doing and put off because I was controlled by, didn't let me do anything. So yeah, I started to follow my passions, and the more I followed my passions, the more my life started to just blossom, and opportunities and people, all of that started to come into my life. And that's why I'm so passionate about what I do in terms of what I share with other women is, you follow your passions and your life will start to blossom in a way that you cannot even fathom, right, when you start on that journey. So yeah, I choose to see that now as a really big blessing, because if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be where I am today, and I wouldn't have that resilience, and I wouldn't have that perspective that I have now, and that passion to want to help other women to go, you know what, there's so much more. There is so much more out there for you. You just have to be willing to say yes to yourself. To say yes to yourself. Yeah.
I think that's a very challenging piece, because you can't see what's around the corner. You can't see that beautiful life that could be waiting for you. All you can see is what's here, and it's a leap of faith, right?
Absolutely.
And sometimes you get a boot. You gotta get booted into it, because you hang there on the edge, and we're like, oh, I don't know. But sometimes that's what it takes, right? It's a little push to help us get.
It is, because, like, we want to be comfortable. Like, no one wants to step out of their comfort zone. I guess not always voluntarily, but sometimes you need that nudge, right? And it's like you do have to be pushed over the edge, and you just have to grow your wings and fly, right? But honestly, when you just say yes, like you know ultimately what you want. Like, we all have this inkling, we all have our intuition, but a lot of times we let our egos or our minds dictate what we do because of society's expectations, other people's expectations, or whatever stories we have going on in our minds. We let that dictate our actions and how we be in the world. But the thing is, if we just tune in, and if we just go, okay, what is my next step? Where am I going? And really listen, pay attention, and actually take inspired action from what is being called through you, not what you think you should be doing. Then, even though sometimes it is scary, like it is a massive leap of faith, it's like it doesn't make any logical sense. Like everything, actually, a lot of things that I've had to do didn't make any sense. Like none of it made any logical sense.
Right?
I didn't know why. Didn't know why, but I was just drawn to do these things. And then each time I said yes, it's like it pointed me to the next thing and then to the next thing. And it's like now I look back going, oh, if I hadn't done this, I wouldn't be over there. If I hadn't said yes to go on this cruise, I wouldn't have all these amazing people in my life. If I didn't go to salsa class, I probably wouldn't have met my partner now. So all these things, it's like it points you in the direction that you need to be. You just have to be willing to pay attention and to say yes to you, because ultimately you're saying yes to yourself.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think as a mom, we stop saying yes to ourselves. Right? Because we think, oh, you know, we're mums, we're super moms. Yes, absolutely we are.
Yeah.
But then we forget about ourselves, and because we put so much of our energy and attention on everyone else, on our family and our children, you know, we stop paying attention to us and stop tuning into, okay, what is it that I actually truly want and is going to serve me as well as my family? Because it's not always about, you know, we always say, oh, you know, family first. You know, yeah, family first, but you actually have to put yourself first, because if you don't put yourself first, how can you help your family?
Yeah.
Right? Like they always say when you go on a plane, put your mask on first, right? And it's like, it's so cliche, but it is so true. You've got to, it's all around self-love and cultivating self-love and that self-appreciation. Like I actually, not sure if you saw my post, but I put a post up on Mother's Day, like, you know, acknowledging and saying Happy Mother's Day. But I was thinking, you know what, like we live in a society where we're conditioned to celebrate and just, you know, to celebrate the sacredness and the blessing of being a mom like once a year. Why not celebrate? You know, motherhood is something that should be celebrated every day, but we also as moms don't need to wait for others to celebrate us. Like we as moms should start acknowledging ourselves and appreciating ourselves more and celebrating ourselves more for everything that we do for everyone, right? We don't need anyone to do that for us. We should be doing that ourselves and cultivating that self-love within us. So and that's what I share with the women that I work with and the women that come to my workshops and my coaching. It's all about, you got to love you and you got to put yourself first. And it's not easy.
No, because people, you know, women are taught that if you do anything for yourself, you're being selfish. That takes away from what you have to give to your family. But, you know, that's not true.
I don't believe, it isn't. Yeah, it actually enhances what you have to give.
It does.
Right? When you're happy, your kids see you happier. And when you're happy, you can actually truly see people, right? Without all the BS and the filters, because when you're truly happy and when you're focusing on that gratitude, you see people for the love that they are, for who they truly are, and not the mistakes they've made, or not the, you know, the lack and limitations, or whatever all the other stories you have about them, or the judgment. It's you just have this unconditional love for people. Because when you unconditionally love yourself, then that's all you can be for others. And but if you don't have unconditional love for yourself, how can you unconditionally love others, right?
The other thing I think that makes it difficult is there's actually a fairly high level of uncertainty involved in that saying yes and seeing what's going to happen next and not knowing, you know, exactly how it's all going to play out. And I think our nature as humans is to dislike uncertainty, to want to know exactly what's going to happen and how is this going to work and what's going to be the benefit. And life doesn't work that way.
No, not at all. And I can completely resonate with that, because it is like we are so conditioned to want certainty, right? Like we want to know what we want to know. Okay, this is what I've got to do to get to over there. It's like the formula. I want to know the formula, right? And the steps that I've got to take to get to my goals, or whatever it is. But sometimes we become so masculine in our energy, and that's the thing. Like we have both feminine and masculine, right? As a human being, we have both masculine and feminine, but we become so masculine in our energy with the pushing and the I needing to know, the wanting to know the next step and taking action, that we stop to forget, okay, we actually have a feminine energy as well. And the feminine is all around allowing and receiving and just flowing. It's not meant to be this massive push all the time. It's knowing when to take inspired action, but also knowing when to allow and pull back and go, okay, all right, I've set my intentions, I've taken inspired action. Now I just have to allow for it to actually manifest, to unfold. And it's not always going to be as quick as we would like it to be. You know, it's manifesting things, because we're not like we want things to happen yesterday. Like we want things instantaneously, right? And because that's the society that we live in. Things happen instantly, right?
Yeah.
But when you're wanting to manifest something that's truly, truly important, it's like the universe, you've got to work with the universe, and the universe has to give it to you, but you've got to be vibrating the right frequency, the right vibration. You've got to be putting out the right intentions. But if you're not putting out the right intentions wholly, you know, not just with your head, but actually feeling it and actually believing that it's going to happen, then it's not going to happen, no matter what, you know.
The other thing that I've seen is that we have to be willing to let it happen in the way it's going to happen. You know, we have our set ideas. Okay, this is what I want. It's got to look like this. It's got to smell like this. It's got to feel like this. And that's what I want. Right? That doesn't work always either. You have to be open to getting what you need in a way that may totally surprise you.
Absolutely. Because the thing is, we get so caught up in, oh, it has to happen this way, or we have an idea of how it should come into our life. But really, we're not, like I heard someone say this, we're not that smart. Like we, you know, like as in the sense that there are so many, there's infinite possibilities of how this one thing can manifest in our life. Like how are we to know how this is meant to happen? Right. The best way for the best way for it to happen into our life, for everyone's good, not just for ourselves, but for the divine highest good of all that's involved. Right. We don't know, like we're not that smart, like because the universe has so many infinite possibilities, and but when we get so caught up, okay, it has to happen this way, I have to go down this path, then we actually close off all possibilities.
We're blind to all the other
we're
options.
blinded. We can't see it because it's like, you know, we've got this goal or this intention, but someone presents us with an opportunity to actually get there. We can't even see that. It's not even in our consciousness because we're just so focused on it has to happen this way. And this is where I'm going. Like it's good to have that. And that's why when I talk to my clients, it's not always about the goals. It's actually about what are your intentions. Because to me, your intentions are, it's like the overarching thing, and you've got the goals, right, to help you get there. But it's what's your intention, and how do you want to be, and how do you want to show up in the world? Because that's what's going to dictate the actions that you take. But also, when you set the intentions of, you know, this is, you know, when my life is ideal, I am transforming lives on a global scale, whatever that looks like, right? You've got to be open to the opportunities that are going to be presented to you. And it's, you know, I talk about a formula. It's a 3-step formula when I talk to women. And this formula I apply in my life. Like it's I didn't make this up. I actually read this from The Passion Test. There's a book called The Passion Test by Chris and Janet Attwood. And it's the formula for creating your personal destiny, right? So it's intention, attention, no tension. So intention's all around, you know, getting clear and getting absolute clarity as to what it is that you want, right? Number 2 is attention. So now that you know you're clear and you know what your intentions are, start to place your attention on the things that you can control. You know, take inspired action on the things that you can actually do. And focus on the positives. And then the third thing is probably the most tricky part for people. It's the no tension part, because this is all around letting go and letting God. And it's about learning how to pull back. It's like, okay, I know where I'm going. I know my intention. I'm taking inspired action, but I'm also going to leave it up to the universe and surrender. Because I don't know how this thing is going to come into my life. I just believe that it is. It's coming. And I just have to stay open, because when we let go, we become in our natural state, which is like a place of calm. You know, humans, we're not supposed to be stressed out all the time and go. We're supposed to be in a state of calm. And when we're in a state of calm, then that's when we actually open up this vacuum of, you know, the people, the places, the opportunities, and all these things that we're asking for to come in. But it can't happen when we're not in a place of calm and stillness. If our minds are wandering all the time, how can we pay attention, and how can we actually see these things? Because we can't. We can't if we're too busy with the noises in our minds. So that no tension part is it's important, but it's also very tricky. Yeah.
So you said you still have young children. So how
Mm,
does this inform you as a mother?
mm, good question. So for me, as I was sharing with you before, when we first met, everything I do for, because of my children. I want to be the embodiment of someone who chooses to follow their dreams and follow their passions. So for me, I guess I'm always asking, okay, what's my next step, and how is this going to be? Because I'm always asking for what's the next step that's going to be in the highest divine good of everyone, not just for myself, not just for the women that I serve, but also for my family. So I always choose to I just believe that everything that is presented to me, right, the people that I meet and the opportunities that are given to me, I feel into it, right? And the mind's always going to kind of go, is this going to, like,
Yep.
is it? So the question, so this is the question, actually, a powerful question, and this is what I do for me and what I teach my clients as well. A powerful question to ask is this opportunity or choice going to lead me closer to my passions, my intentions, my goals, whatever you choose to say,
Mm-hmm.
or is it going to move me away?
Right.
And if it's going to move you closer, then say yes, and then figure it out along the way.
Yeah.
But if you know that it's actually going to pull you away from
Yeah.
your own intentions, then you have a choice. I have a choice to actually say a loving no,
Yes.
because it's about, we want to say yes to everyone, but we don't have to. But we feel, sometimes we feel obligated to say yes to everyone, because it's an expectation that other people have put on us, but it's also an expectation that we've put on ourselves,
Yeah.
because of the conditioning that we've grown up with.
Yes.
So for me, that's a powerful question that I always ask myself. If someone asks me, can you do this? Or, hey, here's a great opportunity that's, that I'm presenting to you. Then I just have to go, okay, how does this feel for me? And is there a resonant yes?
Yeah.
Right? Is my body saying yes? Because my mind might be saying yes, but if my body is feeling a bit uneasy,
Yeah.
then that's saying something, right? Like it's like, the money might be good, but hey, if my body's going, oh, then I question that and I go, okay, well, what is this about? Like, what is this really about? So it's, we're so powerful. As humans, we are so powerful. We just don't realize how powerful we are, and we don't realize how much our body is actually telling us as well. It's sometimes, the ego is like, this is awesome, I want this, I want that, but is it really for our highest divine good? It may not be, and this is why you've got to tune into your heart and tune into your body and really feel into, does this feel good? Does this feel right for me? So it's for me that it's all about the feeling for me. How does this feel?
Taking that little bit of time to just stop and to reflect and to just get in touch with your body and figure out what's going on, because we just forge ahead. We're primed to just take action, move forward.
Take action. Because that's the society that we're in. It's like action, action, action. Right? And we've become so action oriented that we actually forget to feel. And again, that comes back to the whole masculine, feminine. Masculine taking action, but the feminine is all about the feeling. How does this feel? Right? And it doesn't serve us to take action when it actually doesn't feel good. And if it doesn't feel right, because we're doing us a disservice. And then we learn the lesson that, the lesson that happens when we don't truly listen. Exactly. So everything, again, there's no right or wrong. Like, I don't believe that there's a right or a wrong. It's always a learning. When we don't learn the lesson, it'll come back around.
It does.
It'll come back around in another form.
The universe will throw little pebbles at your window, and if you're not paying attention, pretty soon the boulder comes and crashes the window. And then
exactly.
okay.
Right. So it's always a lesson and learning. But the more that we tune into us, and the more we really listen to our bodies, and to cultivate that, our intuition, because we're all intuitive. We're all born intuitive. We just we get conditioned to think, I'm not special in that way. Like, we're all psychic. We all are psychic. Some of us just forgotten those abilities, but we can definitely tune in and cultivate that and learn to listen.
So when you think back on the kind of work that you've done with your clients, do you see certain themes pop up in terms of issues and mindsets about them?
Yeah. So I primarily work with women, mums. So the biggest challenge, and I resonate with this because I'm a mum myself. It's like, oh, but I'm a mum. I have to. This mentality of I have to. I have to do things for everyone, and I can't. I don't have the time for me because my day is scheduled for everyone, and I get it. Like I do, because that is very real. Yeah. But it also comes down to, okay, it's figuring out, okay, what's truly important for you, right? What's truly important for you. And doesn't mean that you forget about your family, doesn't mean that you forget about your children and the things that you've got to do for them, but it's about going, okay, what's important for me and how can I integrate more of that into my life? And like I talk about passions. Yeah, I talk about passions and figuring out what your passions are and how to integrate that into your life. So someone might have a passion for, I don't know, dancing, right? Like have a passion for dancing because that's what they enjoy, but because they're a mum now, they don't have a lot of time to dance, perform, or whatever, right? So it's like, okay, if that's truly important for you, okay, it doesn't have to be that, oh my God, tomorrow you're going to be performing and dancing on stage. It's like, okay, let's take a step back and go, okay, how are you dancing right now? It's like, well, actually, no. Okay, well, how many times a week do you want to be dancing? Right? Is it every day? Is it once a week? What does that look like for you? It's like, okay, maybe once a week. Okay, what can you do to actually start to dance more once a week in your life? It's like, oh, maybe I can do dance classes. Perfect. Okay, what's the next action step? Okay, maybe start to look at dance classes in my area. So it's not like you've got to jump from A to B like that. It's about going, okay, where do I want to be? What do I want? I want to dance more. Okay, well, what does that look like? So it's just getting clear. Like people get so overwhelmed as, oh my God, I want to dance, but I don't know what I'm going to do. I can't because they get so overwhelmed in the future that they forget about, oh, actually, I don't even need to go sign up to dance classes. I can just dance in the living room right now.
These days with the internet, you can just get a dance.
Exactly.
Going all on your own.
Put some music on and just start dancing, right? So we put all these limitations, and because we get so overwhelmed as to what it should look like, right? It's like, I just want to dance. Put on some music and start dancing.
And do it.
Right?
Yeah.
Someone who wants to sing more, what's stopping you? So it's the themes, I guess, to kind of bring it back to your question, is that those are the themes, is they get so overwhelmed and they think, oh, I don't have time for that. Oh, I can't because of the kids, because of the family. So the family and the kids almost become the reason why they can't pursue the things that they pursue. Whereas I choose to reframe that and go, you know what? No, they are the reason why you should pursue the things that you want, because you need to embody that. That's right. If you want to be the role model for your kids to want to pursue their dreams, you got to embody that yourself. So it's about reframing that and going, oh, okay. And so when the penny drops, it's like, oh, okay. And then that's when, that's because when they're so caught up in I can't because of my kids, it's hard for them to move forward. But when they realize, actually, I want to be the role model and I want to be the embodiment for my kids to truly value themselves, because at the end of the day, that's what we want for our kids. Would you agree? It's for them to value themselves, for them to truly put themselves first and to love themselves. Ultimately, that's what it is. It's about loving themselves. But if they don't see you loving yourself and putting yourself first and doing the things that you enjoy, it actually doesn't give them the permission to do the same. So when we do that for ourselves, they see that and they think, oh, if mummy's doing that, hey, it must be okay for me to do the things that I want as well. So it's just that reframe.
Do you find that some women use, oh, I can't because of my family, as the excuse because they can't quite get over their fears of doing that thing that they really want?
Yes. I will use myself as an example. And for me, I was actually using my excuse for a long time became my ex-husband that wasn't supportive, right? Because I mean, that was very real. He wasn't supportive, but I also it came to a point where it just became comfortable to say that, like, oh, I can't because my ex-husband won't let me.
Right.
And I couldn't see this at the time. This is more now that I've got perspective.
Right. Hindsight.
But at the time, it's like, oh, I can't do it because I can't. I just can't because I've got to be home with the kids or whatever excuses I had. But it does become this excuse, and it just becomes comfortable to use that excuse because they can't, But at the end, because they become scared as well. There's fear, whether it's fear of failure, fear of success, fear of what are people going to think of me, how are people going to judge me, all of that. At the end of the day, it's just our own fears about ourselves. But we choose to externalize it because it's easier.
It is. It's easier to push it off on somebody else.
Exactly. Instead of taking ownership of I'm actually fearful of what's going to happen if I choose myself over it's not even choosing yourself over your family. It's about choosing you and just choosing what's important for you and setting those boundaries is to say, teaching others, hey, this is what's important for me. And asking for that respect to go, hey, this is what's important for me. Teach that, and because when you do that, when you set these boundaries for yourself, you're teaching others how to set their own boundaries as well, and not just saying yes to everyone and everything because you think you should, right?
All of those shoulds that
the shoulds, we get so conditioned, you should do this, and again, I'm not perfect, like I still have those stories running in my mind, but I catch myself. Right?
That's the trick, right? Is that you catch yourself. You they don't just run rampant, automatically running over and over and over you.
They can.
They can. Yes, they can. Yeah.
But it's making that conscious choice, and the good thing is also having people around you who are going to do that as well. So I'm very blessed that my partner and I have this amazing partnership where, he won't buy into my bull crap.
He's going to call you on that.
He calls me on my crap, right? Which in the moment,
it doesn't make you feel good.
It doesn't make me feel good, but
I
do act like it. I have so much appreciation for it because he'll call me out. And then it stops me on me on going on that rampage. Or it may not in the moment, but I think I'm grateful for that, because if I didn't have people around me who were going to call me on my crap, I probably wouldn't be where I am today. Right? I probably would continue to go down that rampage stuck in that. And that's when you spiral, when you don't have the right people around you and you're not surrounded by people who are going to elevate you and are going to hold you to that higher standard that they know you have the potential to be in. Then, you're going to spiral. So that's important as well, is surrounding yourself with the right people.
Very true.
But you've got to be open to that as well. You've got to put yourself out there and surround yourself with the right people. Find your tribe, as they say. Can't just be a hermit at home, and sometimes it's easier to be at home, but we're human beings. We're meant to connect. We're meant to connect. We need connection.
It's true. Well, Joergette, this has been so fun. Thank you so much.
Wow, look at the time.
I know, time goes by when we're talking about things that are important to us.
I know, absolutely. It has been fun. We always have, every time we've spoken, we always have these deep and meaningful conversations. I love it.
I love it too. I do. Well, I want to thank you very much for giving me your time and sharing your insight and your wisdom with us. And I look forward to staying in touch with you.
Thank you so much for this amazing opportunity. It's like I said, the time's just flown by so quickly, and I appreciate the opportunity to share my views and my little bit of my wisdom and my story with you. So I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
All right, you take care now.
Thank you. Bye.
I hope you enjoyed our conversation today. As a thank you for being here, I'd like to offer you my glorious second act workbook and planner. It's a great tool to help you gain clarity on what it is you want next in your life and to develop a plan to get you there. It's a totally free gift. The link is down below, so click the link, download your planner, and get started, taking action and creating a new and exciting second half to your life. I'm Joanne Kobike, your midlife coach. Stop by again for another episode of Modern Midlife. See you next time.